So last time we learned about sum of interior angles of a polygon, and we came up with the formula. And that formula was S represents sum of interior angles, and we had N was equal to number of sides minus 2 times 180. Okay. And then we went to talk about sum of the interior angle of a regular polygon. And so remember, regular means same, all the angles are the same, all the side lengths are the same, or congruent in this case. So interior, if we're looking for one, right, we're going to call it interior angle, and that's going to equal to, in simple words, it's going to be S over N. It's going to be simply S over N, but we want to take it a little further. What is S? In this case, S is, or S was, N minus 2 times 180, and we're going to divide that by the number of sides that we have. And so if we do that, that gives us the measurement of each interior angle of a regular polygon. And this one's important. We are going to come back to it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this particular equation. We also talked about what's the sum of the exterior angles of a polygon, and it didn't really matter what the shape of the polygon was, because the sum of the exterior angles, was always going to be equal to 360 degrees no matter what. And so we get a little bit more from this. So then we also have, or we can manipulate this fact that we know that the exterior angles are 360, or the sum of the exterior angles are 360, and we can find the measure of each exterior angle so long as the polygon is a regular polygon. And so to do that, we have our exterior angle is going to equal, we take the total sum of the exterior angles, which is always 360, and we divide by the number of sides, and that gives us a measurement of each exterior angle. And furthermore, we can further manipulate this a little bit more to give us a number of sides of a regular polygon. And so what we can do here, what we can essentially take, we're looking for N, right? And we're kind of just order of cross product. We can switch these, right? So this would give us N is equal to 360 over my exterior angle. And we can always find our exterior angle. Let's suppose we have a triangle, and it has to be regular, right? So if it's regular triangle, that means all three of these angles are 60, 60, and 60. And so to find this exterior angle, remember, there's a supplementary. Supplementary means add up to 180, right? So we do 180 minus 60 gives us our exterior angle of 120. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind here, this right here is our interior angle, which should sound familiar. We said we were going to visit this back, right? So we can essentially get back to the same equation if we start with this, right? So if you notice, whether we know the exterior angle, we can go straight here. If we don't know the exterior angle, if we only know the interior angle, we can essentially get to exterior angle, and this is how, right? So for our purposes, I'm going to scoot over a little bit. And so we start with, let's leave it here. We start with our interior angle, right? So here, my interior angle is equal to N minus 2 times 180 over N. And in this case, we're looking for N, right? So we're going to manipulate this equation and see how can we solve for N. And so the first thing you notice is we have n on both top numerator and the denominator. So we start there, right? So we're going to start with distributing this n in here. So that would look like 180n minus 360 both over n. And so from here we can go ahead and split it. Now because n is the only thing in the denominator, we can separate this into two separate parts. So we have interior angle is equal to 180n over n minus 360 over n. And now notice how both of these have n's in it, so they cancel out. And so here we're left with my interior angle is equal to 180 minus 360 over n. Now we're a little bit closer to solving for n. And so from here with a little manipulation, we're going to add 360 over n to both sides, and then we're also at the same time we're going to subtract my interior angle. So what that looks like is we have 360 over n equals 180 minus my interior angle. And then lastly, I'm looking for n. And so once again, if I use cross product, I end up with, and I'm going to put an arrow over here, I end up with 360 over 180 minus my interior angle. But notice that this 180 minus my interior angle is simply what I had just calculated if I had my triangle, right? If I want to find this exterior angle knowing that my interior angle is 60 degrees, I simply do 180 minus my interior angle, which in this case is quote unquote 60. I get my exterior angle, which in this case would be 120, right? And so we end up with the same thing down here, which was the fact that if I wanted to solve, or if I wanted to find out what the measurement of one side, or if I wanted to know the number of sides that I had a regular polygon, knowing either my exterior angle, right, so it can jump straight here, or knowing my interior angle. But if, as you saw, essentially we get the same thing, right? So if we know the interior angle, we can always find the exterior angle. And so I want to leave you with two equations for finding number of sides of a regular polygon. If I know my exterior angle, I simply go there, right? If I do not know my interior angle, if I do not know my exterior angle, then I essentially we get this over here, right? So which is n is equal to 360, and if I only know my interior angle, it would be 180 minus my interior angle, because this here is essentially my exterior angle.